This is TWiT.
In this week's installment of Wrestling a Simple Idea to the Ground, we have the paper which will be delivered this Thursday during, it was the 43rd. I knew it couldn't be 87th. It was the IEEE 43rd Annual Computer Software and Applications Conference, which is CompSAC, C-O-M-P-S-A-C, titled Ctrl-Alt-Led, Leaking Data from Air-Gapped Computers via Keyboard LEDs. My first thought about hearing this was that it should have been named, rather than Ctrl-Alt-Led, Ctrl-Alt-Duh, because, okay, it's obvious to all of us that if software can blink a keyboard's LEDs, you know how keyboards have what? Caps lock, scroll lock, and num lock LEDs. So if you can put those under software control, and you can install malicious software in a computer, and we know that happens, and you can arrange to have something watching the LEDs over time, obviously at a time when there's no one sitting there, because otherwise they'll think, what the heck? What the hell? My computer's just gone berserk. My lights are blinking on my keyboard like crazy. If all of those preconditions can be set up, then yeah, you could send data, you could exfiltrate data from the computer. Now, to their credit, and Leo, you're scrolling this on the screen right now, I have it in the show notes, they really did solve the problem. And as I said, I want to put them on the task of figuring out what the best communications medium to use is between the bottoms of two Dixie cups, which are stretched so that when we talk, we get the most clear communication. And for that matter, since it's really not a really clear communication, maybe which language would be best used for increasing intelligibility of a Dixie cup telephone, because these are the guys you want to put on that project. They really wrestled this thing to the ground. That they have looked at the nature of the radiation pattern as a function of angle from dead on, the Lambertian radiation pattern, the transmitted power as a function of how far off of the axis you are from the LED. If you have a camera lens which is imaging multiple LEDs, to what degree are you able to differentiate between the LEDs spatially when the LED illumination falls onto the camera sensor? They have a wide range of camera types that they have experimented with. And what about if you have a non-imaging receiver? If you have something that can only detect the illumination but doesn't have a focusing lens, so all you can detect is a subtle change in brightness in the room, for example. And they wrestled it all the way down to which keyboards produced the highest bit rate, believe it or not. Looking at Dell with a single LED versus multiple LED, Lenovo, the same conditions, Logitech keyboards, or Silverline. And for anyone who is worried about this, the Silverline keyboards allowed them at a relatively low bit error rate of 3.10%, they were able to very cleverly manage an exfiltration of a little more than 5 kbits per second. Wow. So that's not bad. That's way over Morse code. Anyway, for anyone who's interested or worried, I guess you could. I never really use those lights on my keyboard. You could not only stick a Post-it note over your
One more thing to tape up.
Webcam, exactly. And these guys are the blinking light experts. They're the people we've talked about before who worried that hard drive activity lights could be used for exfiltrating data. And remember, we talked about them saying that the lights on routers could be used. And I said, what? You know, maybe if the data bits were exposed on the LED, but routers don't put the data bits, they like sort of aggregate them together and just blink the light slowly if anything is happening at all. So I don't know. They do tend to like to push the limits.
Elia says, what about the flash on your camera? That could probably be used to.
Yeah.
On your camera phone, right? You know?
Yeah. Wow. Anyway, so they really wrestled the problem to the ground.
These guys
but again,
are the kings.
They are.